I think the biggest misconception about what I've been through specifically is that people don't believe sex trafficking happens here in the States. I was just a regular girl, grew up in a home that was dysfunctional. I don't know who grows up in like a perfectly safe home or a bubble, so I didn't have like a lot of siblings or people to look out for me, and no one to really lead and guide me through life. I went to vocational high school as a teen, and I got my cosmetology license, so I started cutting hair. I worked at a hair salon. I was in community college for journalism. I had plans, I had goals, but I think that early childhood missing that care and nurture left a hole in my heart, and I think I was searching for love and acceptance. I started drinking, drugging, probably 12, 13, and didn't think it was bad. It was acceptable. I liked it. My parents really didn't tell me not to. At 19, being in a nightclub underage, drinking was fine, and I meet a guy who knew some friends, so he wasn't a complete stranger, and he offers to buy me a drink, and he brings me to the bar, and he spends $7 on me, and I'm impressed. And when we got together, he was maybe 20, 21, not that much older, but dressed nicely, drove a Mercedes, seemed to have it together, seemed to have money, and I was interested. And over this period of, say, 3 to 6 months of dating, that's when the grooming process started. And I had no idea that he was going to become my future pimp. He would bring me out, bring me shopping, take me to the mall, take me out to dinner, just for me to fall in love with him and trust him, and that was the whole purpose. And before I knew it, he would start making me think that my ideas and dreams and goals weren't good enough. Why would you want to work in a hair salon? You can own one. Why would you want to go to school for journalism? That's stupid. I know a way we can make a lot of money, and you can have a family and a business and cars and whatever you want, if you just go and work at this massage parlor. Hearing the idea of like working at a massage parlor didn't thrill me, because why would I ever want to like sign up for that? I didn't dream of becoming a prostitute as a little girl. Again, I don't believe anyone in the commercial sex trade dreams of becoming that. Clothes and shoes and jewelry and pocketbooks, and again at this time, for me being 19, the epitome of success was like having a Louis Vuitton bag, right? Having like this designer expensive bag, and I started to feel like maybe I was missing out. Maybe all this stuff that my boyfriend was telling me could come true. And so this was what it was. I was in this massage parlor from 10 a.m. till 1 a.m., a couple days in a row. My trafficker dropped me off, left. My friend had taught me how to speak to the customers. My trafficker comes back, picks me up. We come back home to Boston, and we get out of the car, and I have this pocket full of money. He puts out his hand. And I knew that gesture meant to hand over the money, but I was thinking logically in my mind, like, well, why would I give you all the money? And he says, there can be a problem? And I'm like, no. And I handed the money. And I feel like at that moment, I lost my voice, I lost my courage. I felt ashamed. I wanted him to love me. I was confused, like totally confused. I thought you loved me, or my boyfriend, like just so confused. And couldn't stand it, really wrestling with this life. Like, I don't want to live this way. I don't want to be this person, And that's when I started to speak up and say, I don't want to do it anymore. And that's when he started to use violence. And there was always a gun on him or present, so I was always in fear that he was going to use it, of course. Someone points a gun at your head, you think they're going to use it. And then he would tell me things like he'll kill my family, or he'll tell my family what I'm doing, and I didn't want that to happen. I was in mental and emotional bondage, and that's where it all lies. It's in the mind. I get pregnant by my trafficker. And I figured this was like it. I could retire. It had been 5 years. I'm gonna have a baby. How can he make me prostitute still? Who would buy me while I'm pregnant? And I was so looking forward to this child saving my life. And sadly, he forced me to terminate the pregnancy. And so that became the point where I was like, I gotta leave for good. So I started saving money without him noticing. And I put it in Ziploc bags, tie elastics around it, and put it in the dirt in my potted plants. And I saved probably like $3-4 grand, and I wanted to get my own apartment. Okay, I'm traumatized. I'm suicidal. I'm hopeless. I'm like a fish out of water. I have this big apartment, great. It's empty. I have nothing, and I have no idea how to put my life together. And I want to die. I can't figure it out. I have this giant rent and car payment and car insurance, like all these real life things that I have no idea how to do in real life. And I started hanging out with new friends, but they were old friends, you know, too, and they're all doing OxyContin. This is at that time that was really popular, and cocaine, and they're all drinking, and they start coming over, and I start getting high, and well, there goes the end of that, because you can't get high and live a normal, productive life, and OxyContin at the time was like super expensive. So this leads me right back into the life of prostitution, which led to heroin, homelessness, sleeping on park benches, until finally I got sober in 2007. If you really allow that healing to take place, amazing things can happen. And I started learning about being vulnerable and transparent, you know, with people, and every time I did that in the right places, other women would start telling me their story, and tears would stream down their face, and that's when the real healing started happening. So all of a sudden, like, I didn't look through the lens as a victim anymore, and I was a survivor, and everything changed. Just amazing doors started opening. And then I developed Bags of Hope as an outreach ministry, because I wanted to help women that are still out there realize they don't have to walk in shame anymore like I did. And I started making these bags with toiletries, like real simple: socks, shampoo, conditioner, soap, a little note for me that says I've been there, if I can do it, you can do it, some local and national resources for substance abuse, trafficking, mental health, the rape crisis center, like any way I could reach out to these women, I would. Or if I just hand them this book, like, and they read it and they say, oh my gosh, that's my life too. And I'm like, exactly, you can change your life, like it can get better. There's hope, and I think that's the biggest thing, is the hope. Because if we're still alive and breathing, and there's an opportunity to get well, there's an opportunity for recovery.